Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our next ODAC conversation. And today we have a special one for you. It's coming in from Canton, Georgia, is Isaiah Rodgers, the new Director of Championships for the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. And Isaiah, let's talk about that right there. You get the phone call from Brad Bankston. Tell us exactly what you're feeling when you get that, and you know that you're going to be the next one coming on here at the ODAC office.
It was the last thing I expected. I was actually grocery shopping at the time that he got in contact with me. Really just trying to look for a position open with COVID-19. It's been tough for a lot of us recent graduates to find an open position. And I was very happy to hear from Brad. He said he wanted to catch up. Told me about a little bit what was going on as far as, the former DC Bethany going on to Washington Lee. And her new position, and me and him, caught up a little bit, and he said, how would I feel to, work with you guys again? And, back in January, he mentioned this to me at the NCAA convention about, potentially this coming to fruition, and it really came around full circle, and I was very happy to hear about it and then accept the position a couple weeks later on.
Talk to us a little bit about just the excitement there with it. There, that you're coming back to a place that having been a former All-ODAC football running back at Emory Henry. Just talk a little bit about be like, man, this is something really nice.
Yeah, so competing in the ODAC was a very fun experience for myself, and my senior year, the spring of 2018, was really the highlight of my college career. Especially being able to intern with you guys that spring, getting in contact with Brad about helping you guys out. And as you know, we all enjoyed that very much. I think we worked together really well. So like I said before, for that to come around full circle and to be in this position, work alongside you and Brad is a blessing to me. I'm really excited about working with, league administrators and officials and student athletes that make the ODAC what it is. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to just kind of helping the culture continue to grow, the good competitive culture we all know and love of the ODAC that we've kind of all developed over the years. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Talk to us a little bit about yourself. Let people, get to know you. I've had an opportunity to meet you a few times, and, both working at the championship and seeing you from afar run the football and run all over people for something like 335 yards in the last two games of your career. So, that's nice. But talk to us a little bit about who's Isaiah Rodgers. What are people going to come to expect from you at the ODAC office?
Yeah, well, I'm a very hard worker. I'm always willing to get the job done. I enjoy building those relationships, which is something I think will do me well in this position. Having to communicate with so many different administrators, officials, and supervisors to get things done. I'm a really hard team worker. I love being a leader. I love taking initiative, and I love doing what it takes to get the job done and to help people that are working alongside with me have their best experience and just bringing the best out of everyone. And I'm looking forward to bringing those skills and tools to the ODAC.
Well, Isaiah, before we talk a little bit more, I'm going to take a quick word from one of our sponsors, Virginia Farm Bureau Insurance.
All right.
With over 100 local offices, Virginia Farm Bureau agents are part of your community. If you want insurance from a company that knows you, get to know us.
Well, Isaiah, we certainly thank our partners at Virginia Farm Bureau Insurance, and you'll get to know them a whole lot better here as we move through what you'll be doing with the Directors of Championships. But they help us help us out not just with our operating budget, but make sure that we can get those 24 championships off the ground. And it's something we hopefully can get back to as we move forward here with what's going to happen with this season. But let's talk about your process. What got you here to this point? Talk about a little bit of what your path has been over the last couple of years since graduating from Emory Henry that has you prepared and excited for this opportunity.
Yeah, so it really all started back in January 2018 when I had the opportunity. I got nominated for the NCAA convention, had the opportunity to travel to the national office in Indianapolis. And, the things that I experienced there, up until then, I didn't realize my passion for athletics and more specifically Division III athletics until I got that opportunity with the immersion program. And it started with some advice that I got from Meg Stevens, the director of athletics at Averett University, and Louise McCleary, who's the oversees the diversity and inclusion of Division III at the national office. Two things that they told me, share some advice and knowledge, was how good Springfield College was with their graduate program in athletic administration. And two, a piece of advice I'll never forget is just to get my name out there. They told me, contact your commissioner, contact local ADs, surrounding institutions, see if they need help in the spring. And day one after the convention, I applied for a graduate associateship with Springfield, and then I sent an email to Brad to see if you guys need any help. And of course, I ended up, throughout the spring helping you guys with championships. And here I am 2 years later, graduated from Springfield College with my master's in athletic administration, received that phone call from Brad, and it really just has taken off for me. And like I said before, I can't say it really came around full circle for me. And, developing those relationships have done, tremendous wonders for me. And it's been a blessing. So
talk about some of the things that you've been able to do over the last couple of years that, have you, like you said, found your passion for this here right now. Talk about some of the favorite projects that you worked on, maybe at Springfield, or maybe it was with one of the NCAA immersions, that sort of thing. But talk about some of that and how you'd like to, maybe continue to expound upon that and explore that a little bit more here with the ODAC.
Yeah, well, it's kind of started with that internship under you guys. Kind of seeing how you guys ran things and organized those championships. It was, very professional. You could see that the city of Salem and, the different places that we hosted those events, they really appreciated the work of, yourself, Brad, and Bethany. And I could see how passionate you guys were about making sure that you had that high quality of work, had high quality competition, and just the experience that you guys gave to the student athletes was, amazing to witness. And, I got to do some interviews, some post-game interviews and other little things. And that kind of started my passion. And then at Springfield, a lot of our, what we did there was, I supervised games and, had my student workers that I had. And it was a good experience for me, learning how hectic running events can be. A lot of high stress situations I was put in, and that's kind of developed me as a professional. And I think will do me well as I go in the ODAC and, hopefully soon host these championships, pending, how COVID goes, and just doing a lot of the administrative work that, athletics entails.
As we kind of segue here a little bit, something I'm thinking of here as you're talking about it is getting to see the other side of it a little bit, kind of pulling back the curtain. Was there any difference that you noticed from when you were running back at Emory and Henry and then seeing the events happen for you and everything tailored to you, and then you're on the other side and you're working toward those? What was maybe one of the differences that you saw with that? You're like, that kind of piqued your interest, like, wow, I didn't know this much went into it, or that went into it, or maybe it was easier than you thought it was.
Yeah, just the little things. Just even when it comes to setting up the event, there's so many things that go into it, especially the groundwork before the event actually happens. There's the endless amount of meetings, the endless amount of conference calls, the endless amount of paperwork and organization that you have to, put together to make an event successful. And it's never going to be 100% successful, especially from the event management standpoint. There's always going to be little nitpicky things that you can pick out, but it's all it's all for the student athlete. And that's something I realized being on the other side is I wasn't as grateful as I should have been as a football player because of the things that the administrators and coaches and everyone that goes into organizing an event, how much work and time they put in to ultimately just give us our best experience as student athletes, or myself as a former student athlete. It's insane.
And that's really what we strive for, is to try to, you can hear Brad Bankson talk about it. And Brad, we both know Brad likes to talk, so that's a good thing.
Definitely.
But he talks about, that's really the big thing for us, is we want to bring that sort of thing. And now you have the ability to be able to give back for that. And that's kind of something that we've been able to do with this position. If you look at how it's generated over time, it started with Sarah Recknitzer with one NCAA internship, and she went to Randolph-Macon Women's College. And then Molly Robertson was a classmate of hers and worked at Washington Lee University, and that was on the Women's and Minorities Matching Grant that came through. And then it was Bethany Danley who played basketball for Washington and Lee, and and was at Colby, another Division III school. And now we come to you, former running back at Emory and Henry, still ODAC ties. Talk a little bit about what it was like to be a student and a student athlete at Emory and Henry at an ODAC school, just for the people that, either are doing the same thing, that can kind of see it and see something that can come to fruition after that. And for those prospective students that we've got coming in that think, what can we get out of something like this that maybe not exactly like what you've got, but can lead to a different avenue with being at an ODAC school?
Yeah, well, first, my experience at Emory Henry was awesome. It's really a family culture there, and I think that's what I love the most about Emory Henry, especially being on the football team. That's ultimately what came down to my decision to choose to go there. It's just I felt like I was home, away from home, being 4.5 hours, being from Georgia. It was different for me, but having that family feel and good competitive culture of the ODAC was second to none. I got some good quality football. There's some really good football in the ODAC, and just all the people involved. They truly care about you and your experience, and the things that I learned being a sport management major has helped me tremendously throughout my professional and academic career going on to graduate school. And I guess Taylor Jefferson, he was at Springfield or at Emory and Henry during my time there, and he really helped mold me into who I am as well. I did an internship under him when he was helping out with Emory and Henry in marketing and graphics and putting those things together for the institution. And he's helped really guide me throughout my career, and I still keep in contact with him and let him know the things that I'm doing. And he really showed me a lot of avenues, through NACDA and all the affiliates that they have and all the opportunities that you have through that organization. So I think that's crucial for especially for prospective students, is just learning about your opportunities. Talk to your administrators, talk to even some of your professors that know a little bit about athletics, and see the different avenues you can pursue. The opportunities are endless. And that's something that I really got to notice going into the spring of my senior year.
Next up for you is actually the process of getting down here. So talk about, what's the timeline look like? What's the process? Where are you going? Where are you living? What's your favorite food to eat? No, I'm not talking about all that, but what's next for you coming down here? Because we know you start September 1.
Yeah, everything happened so quickly between the phone call with Brad and accepting the position and finding a place to live. So thankfully, I did find a nice place to live. My fiance will be tagging along with me, moving up to Forest, Virginia. I'm only going to be 2 minutes from the office, so that's a good deal for me.
Folks, while we love Isaiah, she is definitely his better half. There's no doubt about that. Got to meet them at dinner. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we're really looking forward to it, and it's been crazy. It's been stressful, but moving is especially a big move like that. We're moving 7.5 hours from our home here in Georgia. So we're just now we're in a good spot, and also between that, wedding planning. So it's been a crazy time for us. We got a lot going on, but we got things leveled out. And we're just counting down the days till the 24th of August, and I'll be there and hopefully settled in a little bit. And I'm ready to go on September 1st.
Well, when the move happens, know you've got these two shoulders to help you out. And I'm going to speak for Brad's shoulders right now. And he's got two sons as well that are 15 and 17, 18. So they can come and help out as well. So we'll make sure that you get in without an issue here and get you ready to go for the ODAC. But Isaiah, I want to thank you for joining us here today. And, we look forward to having you down here, and please, safe trip coming in.